Is the Sigma 16-28 a good lens? Short answer is yes, obviously, because you can do things like this. I can sit you down here and whack this wide and you can see everything I'm doing. Let me just land this drone. That was so much effort just for an opening shot, but hopefully it's worth it because it got you actually watching. It made you click on the video. So I used to have a 24-70 and I thought that was wide enough, 24mm, but when you think about it, 24mm is this. So like if I'm vlogging, I have to be this far away. My arm is fully extended, but I'm still quite cropped in. And if I was trying to get that original shot, I was just getting there, I wouldn't really be able to get it. I'd have to crop down. I couldn't be as flexible knowing that I'm going to be in frame if I stand up. Do you know what I mean? So that's what this 16-28 gives you now. So now I can get these really cool vlog shots without having to hold the camera up miles away from my face. You can probably see on the drone, this is where I'm holding my camera for the 16mm. This is where I'm having to hold the camera for the 28mm. Do you see what I mean? It's so much more convenient now. And it also allows me to zoom into 28mm and still get these nice compressed B-roll shots that I need for my video without having to switch lens. That's the thing. If you use a 24-70, you kind of need to switch to a wide lens to get those nice vlog clips along with getting those nice B-roll clips. Don't get me wrong, it's not 35mm like the G Master one for Sony, but for the price, can you really complain? Like it's literally half the price of all of them for just a couple of mil short. 28mm, you don't really notice the difference, do you know what I mean? But you do obviously feel that price when you feel it. It's not the heaviest, bulkiest lens, and that is a bit of a drawback, but it's not that big of a deal. God, it's so wet and muddy today. And to be honest, I actually think it's a good thing that it's not that heavy, because when you're vlogging, you don't want this big heavy lens on the end of your camera while you're trying to like talk to the camera and hold it all day. It's just a bit annoying, and plus because it feels a bit cheap, you don't feel like when you're doing a vlog or like you're out for the day and you're throwing your camera around, putting it on the chair, you don't want to be like, okay, this is a really expensive piece of glass. It just feels cheap, so, and it feels lighter, so you're a bit more like carefree is the word. Not that I'd break my cameras, but like I'm a bit more like, right, okay, I'll put that there, whereas when I've got my 85mm on, I'm very much like, right, be careful. Do you know what I mean? So I actually prefer the cheap feel for vlogging. Actually, I need to go this way. So onto the actual quality of this lens across photos and videos. Is it actually any good? To be honest, for videos at its widest point, I don't like it as much. I feel like it looks a bit iPhone looking, but again, that is kind of the same with all wide lenses. But on the edges, like this sort of frame, it kind of loses that texture and detail. But when I'm up close to the camera, like when I'm up close doing these shots here, I feel like I'm nice and sharp. The glass is completely fine. I wouldn't say this is a bad lens. And when you turn it to that 24mm for videos, I really do like this 28mm, sorry. It's not just a 35, but I prefer this. I actually really like it for the compression. It looks really good. Because it is a zoom lens, it only goes to f2.8, so it's not bad. Like there's still blurriness behind me, but it's not like a prime lens like a 1.4, but still, I think this is completely fine. And low light, this lens actually does perform really well. Autofocus as well, I've had no issues. Like if I snap to this, and then snap to this, and snap to this, then back to me, it's quick. The autofocus is really good. I've never had an issue with this lens trying to catch focus in a video. Right, let me get out of this bush because I've not got the right shoes on for this wet grass, and let's talk about photos. So shooting wide for photos, which I'm assuming is most of you watching this because this is like a photography page really. It's great, I love it. I don't feel like it's an iPhone looking sort of lens when I go to that sort of 16mm in a certain environment for like a car, say. I really like it. I'll put some examples on the screen. It's really sharp, and the thing is with photos, you can edit the photos anyway. You can make it look a bit sharper. You can add contrast into those areas that might not look as good when it's compressed in. I love it. I've got no bad things to say about it. I absolutely love it wide. Don't get me wrong, I'm not the best at it, but it really does produce these photos that you can't normally get. And then again, 28mm isn't a 35mm prime, but you shouldn't be expecting that when you get it, but it is still enough. I've gotten these shots here, which give you just the right amount of compression to get that nice solid front shot of a car or a person. It's a nice focal length. I really do like it. 28mm is underestimated, and you really shouldn't have that as a reason that you don't get this lens because you want the 35mm. It's really not big of that difference. I've had a 35mm prime, and don't get me wrong, it was really sharp and really nice, but it's just as good, you know what I mean? It's not a reason to not get it just because it's not 35mm. The 28mm is a nice sweet spot for photos. It is a known thing that Sigma do give you this. Can I even sit here? I thought this was a cool frame, but I don't even know if I can get in it. Just about. Sigma's known for giving you this sort of contemporary tint to the actual lens. Like if you compare it to a G Master, let's say, that G Master is going to be like the most natural, clear, flat sort of profile of the colours. It's more of a natural, crisp look. The Sigmas do give you a slight bit of that contemporary feel. Unless you get the art lens, then it is literally just the same as the G Masters. But yeah, these contemporary ones are a little bit cheaper. They do give you a bit of that tint, but I rarely notice it. You have to really put them side by side and look closely to even notice it. And to be honest, we edit our photos anyway, so it doesn't matter because you can just change the colours. So it's really not that big a deal. But even if you put like Canon RAWs next to Sony RAWs, they're going to be different. Do you know what I mean? They've all got certain tints to them. As long as you change your white balance and edit your photos, you're not really going to notice the difference in the first place. So that rumour can just be thrown to the side. It's irrelevant. So yeah, overall, the 16 to 28 Sigma is an absolute amazing lens, and I'm not the sort of person to go, well, imagine if I unlocked the car. I'm not the sort of person to go through each individual pixel. You can watch a deeper review if you want to see all the individual differences, but for me, I just like to talk about practicality and actually the use of the lens, and it's great. As soon as I picked up this lens for my channel, it completely changed my photography, completely changed the way I make content, because I can actually speak to you like this in my car now without having to like zoom in or zoom out or change lens, you know what I mean? So for content, it's absolutely amazing. If you're looking for a wide lens, I would highly recommend the 16 to 28 Sigma. All right, subscribe guys, and I'll see you in the next video.